A mother who suffered a tragic stillbirth has revealed why she chose to have a photographer with her during labor, her son's post-mortem and even his funeral. Heartbroken Sarah Jade, 33, from Melbourne, Australia, gave birth to son Axel Jude at 33 weeks after he passed away in the womb following severe complications with his brain development. Jade and her husband Tim, 34, asked photographer Lacey Barra to capture her son's birth from the moment she went into labor to his funeral, including his post-mortem examination. Sarah, who has a 3-year-old son Arthur, says the photographs have helped herself and Tim heal while also preserving her son's memory. She says, "I wanted a beautiful birth. But when we knew what the outcome of the birth would be, I still wanted to capture those moments. It was traumatic. The worst part was that I was pushing so hard and Axel was halfway out but then went back in. And I had to push all over again. I just burst out in tears at that moment. It was like my body wanted to push but my heart wanted to keep him inside of me. Getting to hold him after he was out was such an amazing feeling. It really helped us all to be able to see him and hold him. I just wanted to soak in those moments with Axel and embrace him forever." Mother says she had never experienced that amount of different emotions at one time. "I thought I was going to explode," and she adds that she's never regret having those photographs taken, saying, "It is something for us to hold onto forever." Our whole family saw Axel and said goodbye. Letting go was the hardest thing we've ever had to go through. The couple's 3-year-old son, Arthur, also joined the family to say goodbye. "We had talked about him having a little baby brother for so long, so we needed him to see Axel," said. "Here is your brother." Arthur looked for a moment and then turned to me and said, "But he's not talking, Mummy. Why is he sleeping?" He still has that pure childhood innocence that meant he couldn't fully understand the gravity of the situation. "Axel will be in our hearts forever." Doctors had become extremely concerned about the development of Axel's brain at Sarah's 20-week scan, and after a series of tests she went for an MRI scan at 31 weeks pregnant. Her worst fears were confirmed when her son was diagnosed with a brain abnormality called polymicrogyria, which was so severe he would not have been able to survive or have any quality of life outside the womb. Tragically, at 33 weeks Axel's heart stopped beating and Sarah went into labor before giving birth to her stillborn son. Early the following morning, Lacey returned for a second solemn post-mortem photo shoot with Sarah and Axel the following day. Before he was laid to rest nearly 4 weeks later, Sarah wanted Axel's birth to be special and said she is thankful she has the photographs to honor the precious moments with her son. She said, "I hadn't felt quite right the entire pregnancy. It was a bit like mother's intuition telling me that something was wrong." At the 20-week scan, doctors began noticing something was very wrong with Axel's brain, and after an MRI scan at 31 weeks, medics told the couple that their baby would not be able to survive outside the womb. She says, "We were heartbroken. It was absolutely devastating. It was so hard to have this dream of another child be completely ripped out from underneath you. Hardest thing is not knowing why this happened to us. Why we had to go through this nightmare. Before I had Axel I was just happy with just having one child. But now I feel so incomplete. You are just taking it one day at a time and trying to move forward." A photographer, Lacey, who is also based in Melbourne, said, "There are so many hidden stories of pregnancy loss and there are so many women that have never been validated, so by sharing stories and photographs like this, we're uniting everyone in that validation." Lacey says the story has prompted an outpouring of support. "I have had so many messages and comments from women who have lost their babies. And there was just so much solidarity. I think back to all the friends and family that I've lost over the course of my life. And while you know what they look like, you don't have a very vivid picture in your mind but a faint recollection of what that person was like. But to have a photograph of them, you're getting a hard copy replica of what they looked like.